For the game of the week tonight, Dummies versus Signature. And Signature won the toss. They'll be the home team. Dummies will be the visitors. So we'll run through some rules and we'll get right into it. So this is Chicago 16-inch style softball. You're seeing it correct, no gloves. We are indoors, all turf dome stadium tonight. 210 down the lines, 235 to dead red. Smallest complex that we will play on all season out here in Chicago. So there are rules that go along with that. If a ball hits the roof, it's in play. If it's a fair ball, it can be caught on a fly, and it's an out. If it hits the carpet, it's all you can get. Short fence, about 3.5 feet tall out there. We see a lot of ground rule doubles. You can only hit 4 home runs because of the short distance. 60-foot bases, you can lead off, but you can't steal. Pitcher gets a drag step because we're playing no glove. That's 1 step right, left, or back. 38 feet from the pitching rubber to home. 2 fakes or hesitations. Third arm action must be to deliver the ball home. Throw or fake to a base is considered one of your fakes or hesitations. Joey Gotw, first pitch of the ball game, ground ball to Chad Hook. He bounced it in, but nice scoop by Anthony Stacy. That's how the game will begin. 1-1 count. And we use a 16-inch clincher. It is not a mush ball. Comes out of the box very firm, and it'll maintain its consistency. 6'12" on the arc. We use heavy bats. They can weigh up to 38 ounces, 34 inches long, 2 1/4 on the barrel. So that'll bring up Chris Rieger. Both of these teams have been scoring a lot of runs this season. So, of course, we're anticipating a high-scoring game, and last time we thought that, we got a 3-2 championship at the Frank Arenas mini tournament that we broadcast a little bit earlier this fall/winter. So 1 up, 1 down for Chris Rieger. Full count. And on deck is Vito Iovino. And Chris, a little chopper. Stacy slips, now he drops it, but they do recover in time to get the out. So I'm not sure if Chris bolted out of the box hard. It looked like Anthony was going to make an easy play. He fumbled it. Pitcher Don Rollins got over there where he's supposed to be, and they get Chris Rieger. So 2 up, 2 down here for the Dummies. And the Dummies got a pretty good offensive lineup. And Signature, pretty much besides Stacy, has their whole team out here. And Vito slashes one, and looks like Dave Navarro makes a sliding catch toward the alley. And we've talked about Dave in the past. Dave very, very fast. Got a great jump on it, sliding catch as he was heading into the alley in left center. Robs Vito. Of course, we saw Vito, a flashback guy, during the SSA Gold Rush Gaming men's 16-inch national championship tournament Labor Day weekend. He got robbed about 5 times on wicked shots with guys with gloves. So Vito does hit the ball hard generally. So it's going to be Mark Menizzi, Wes Shannon, and Spencer Mahoney coming up here for Signature. The big rumor and the big question is whether Wes Shannon is going to leave BTA and come to Signature this year. I've heard rumors both ways that it was a done deal and that he didn't know whether he was going to do it yet for sure, but he's been out here in the dome with them. And that certainly would be a big pickup. If Wes Shannon's a free agent, he'd be right at the top of the list for sure. So there's a swing and line drive to Vito, and he makes the catch. 1 up, 1 down. And of course, the other rumor is that Chad Hook will be leaving Circus to come play with Signature. And Chad had a terrific offensive year last year. He did have some defensive issues, but he missed about a little over a year with Tommy John surgery, and sometimes it takes a little while to get back. It didn't affect him too much with the bat, but defensively he did have some issues. But Circus last year scored a ton of runs. They just had trouble picking up ground balls. I talked to Timmy Korenkowski late in the year, and he said they were equal opportunity. Everybody on their infield was struggling. So West now goes the opposite way. Long run, and there's a sliding catch by the center fielder for the dummies. So he returns the favor, robs West Shannon. They were playing him to pull, and that ball was hit into the alley. Great job there by the center fielder to get there. So we've seen 2 A-plus plays by center fielders already in this game. And here's Mahoney. Now, Spencer can go yard pretty much any time he wants in these short dimensions, but one of the things we always talk about on the stream is you want to be judicious since you can only hit 4 over the fence. And there he just grounds a single despite the second baseman playing him deep, couldn't get to it. And this turf will play pretty quick. Any ball that is not chopped into the ground will pick up speed, especially on the second bounce when the ball tends to get that overspin. And here comes Anthony Scarlata. Scar, another guy. Signature might have top to bottom more guys that can go yard than any team in this Dome League. And it's part of the reason why they're putting up big numbers. They've had a couple of games that were close heading into, say, the 5th or 6th, and then they've just exploded. And Scarlata, hard ground ball. Michael Lange, easy play. Scar got a bad start, got a little twisted up in the box. So neither team scores, and we'll head to the top of the second. Zip, zip. So a couple of things to mention. The Turkey Bowl coming up Thursday, going to be a cold day. So we'll see. We'll definitely be out there for the prayer and the game and try to show you the championship. But depending on how frigid it gets, we may not be able to have an extended time recording. So we'll see how that goes. Steve Rodriguez, he did text me a flyer. We're going to get that up for you guys, but December 26th, it's a Friday, that'll be opening night, and we'll be out there to show you a few ball games and christen the new league out at Intentional Sports run by Los Borrachos Softball, Steve Rodriguez. And of course, I got a date for the first Aurora tournament, which is going to be an overnighter. And Alonji swings leading off here. Navarro goes back, didn't quite barrel it up. Easy catch for Navarro for out number 1. Brings up Lenny. So both teams here, we're used to seeing them free swing a little bit, but they're both, I wouldn't say tentative right now, but throughout my years in softball, it's always interesting how big teams can just free swing, and then when they play a team they respect, all of a sudden it's a more normal score. And Lenny goes opposite field, but going back is Mattman, is he? And he puts it away. Of course, man, a long-time right fielder. He's been transitioning in, playing more first base the last couple of years. And Signature is kind of lucky because Matt's a very solid first baseman. They also got Anthony Scarlata, who played there for a couple of years, and Scar back to his normal third base. And there's a swing and a long one, and that's gone. So Ray goes yard, that's our first run of the game. And normally on a regular sized field, you'd be like, cool, but while it does put a run up and breaks the seal, it also takes one of your 4 home runs off the board. And ideally, you want to have 1, 2, or 3 base runners. You don't really want solo shots. So here's Brian Sherwin. There's a little ground ball to Mahoney. High throw, but Stacy stays on the bag. And that'll be out number 3. But they do scratch. We head to the bottom of the second. 1-0 dummies. So we'll see if that starts the offensive train now that somebody's pushed one across. It's going to be Chad Hook, Dave Navarro, and Mike Manzella coming up here. So the dummies are a mix. They got some flashback guys, some circus guys, Players Inc. guys, whale guys. Well, actually, Frank left Players Inc. So, but they're more of a mix. They do have a pretty good-looking team out here. Signature besides Wes and Manzella and Stacy, pretty much the only team. Chad tries to go the opposite way, but great play by the second baseman getting a read. Probably heard Chris Rieger yelling, "Oh no!" And of course, Chris, a former outfielder, so he covered a lot of ground on that. Brings up Navarro now. If you are the left side of the infield here for the dummies, you can't really play him too deep because he'll just slap it and run. Although he's more than capable of doing other things, but Dave is lightning fast, and on occasion we've seen him really try to, when they just need base runners, use his wheels. And there he drives it to the gap, and that is going to bounce off the fence, and now it goes over. We'll see if they give him the triple. The ball did bounce off of, and that's actually the right call there. That's the right call there because that's similar to if a guy carries it out. The ball was in play, and it bounced off of the fielder. And if it's unintentional, the umpire can award an additional base based on where the hitter had established. He was already at second. He gives him third. Now, if he thought it was intentional, he could have given him 2 bags. So temporarily, it does save a run here. And here's Manzella. And Mike slashes one. Second baseman deep. Manzella hustling, but he does drive in the tie. And we're 1-1 here in the second. So you see the second baseman, Musha, playing very deep there. That was a hot shot by Manzella, but right at him. And he actually had a kind of a long throw for a second baseman, but right on the money. And he'll bring up Matt Manizzi with Anthony Stacy on deck. So bottom of the second. And if you're planning on participating and there's a line drive off of Jekyll. Nice play there by the first baseman, Chris Rieger. And that'll be the third out. So we're seeing some good defense early in this ball game. And we'll head to the top of the third, 1-1. So if you are going to make it out to the Turkey Bowl, folks, remember it's a fundraiser. Bring 3, 4, 5, 6 canned goods because they are donating canned goods to a local food depository. And that's always fun. They always have a prayer and they take a big group shot. Each team gets a different color shirt. They got odd rules there that everybody who's on your bench must be in the starting lineup. Last year when I was announcing, I had a team that had 19 guys in the batting order. It's a little hard to keep it straight. But it's a good time, no doubt. And I got an interesting story about here. Here's Ryan Ross of flashback fame. And Ryan hits just a high towering fly ball. So Navarro in center has been a busy man. Makes that play as well. Brings up Matt Musha. One, top of the third here. Matt takes that pitch deep. And Matt walks the dog down the right field line. He'll be satisfied to stay at first, but he just flipped it down the line beautifully. One out now for Frank Shaquille. There's my guy, Brian Sherwin. So Frank kind of running this team here, along with Chris Rieger. Of course, these guys and the dummies all pretty good friends. We see them up at Hamlin all the time. Many of them on that, I want to say they play on the Lips team, which has dominated that tournament the last 4 years. The Seriali event. So I like that. And again, there's no stealing, so he can't go anywhere. Of course, Wes a left-handed thrower, so that's a good lesson for you base runners. Always know whether or not the catcher is right or left-handed. A righty's got to turn. He broadcasts that to you. And there's a swing and a foul ball, and that'll be strike 3. Cannot hit a foul ball in 16-inch softball. So brings up Joey Agardo on the top of the lineup. So you want to know which way the catcher's throwing, because a lefty can just one hand the pitch that lands back there, and he can whistle a throw down to first. So you want to always make sure you're aware of that. So Joe Agardo, he's been wearing out left center with humpbacks so far this winter, and see Wes guess wants to get a little throwing in. Matt Musa shaking his head. He's like, I'm not even fast. So what are you guys doing here? And Joey, a little soft fly ball, and that's going to be caught by the right fielder for out number 3. Left fielder, excuse me. So we head to the bottom of the third, still 1-1. So again, we're seeing both of these teams not off to their normal fast starts. And realistically, Signature might have 1 or 2 more bats in their lineup than the dummies do. And as a result of that, if you're the dummies, you kind of wanted to get off to a little quicker start. So it's going to bring up Anthony Stacy, Don Rollins, and then Marco, the left fielder. And there's a little flare. You see Chris Rieger. I don't know if him and Chris Ace Rogers, who's got more energy, but they're in both of those kids in constant motion on the softball field. And Stacy just punches it out toward right field. and that'll be a leadoff single. So that's the first leadoff man to reach in the ball game. Matt Menizio come in and courtesy run, and it brings up the pitcher. And there's a little topper. Musha, he goes normally I'd say the short way, but it was the long way. Nicely done, though. He did rotate the hips. Nice job by Vito there, making the catch and getting off the bag. Menizzi was sliding, and that made it a little bit easier to avoid the contact, but if Matt would have tried to go standing up there, he would have never been able to stop. And here's Marco. And I think the catcher made that throw just to kind of get back a little bit at Wesley for throwing it over there 3 times on Musha. And there's strike 2. So Frank slipped a little flatter pitch there past Marco, and he tries it again. And that pitch is inside. I don't know if it even made 6 feet. Looked like Chooch put his arm up. Couldn't tell if he called illegal or not. Now he comes high, and there's a sky-high pop-up. Musha calls it, and he's had a busy start to his ball game as well. So that's 2 out now. Back to the top of the lineup, and Mark Menizzi. Signatures. If you're the dummies, you'd like to get him out because you got Wes and then Spencer coming up, both who can go yard, and with a couple of base runners, one or both of them would take the shot, and that's a sky-high fly ball, and Lenny, about a foot in front of the fence, makes the catch. So we head to the top of the 4th, still 1-1. Interesting thing is we head to the top of the 4th. Both teams will have 2, 3, 4 coming up this inning. So it's basically top versus top here in the 4th. And that was a big out there because, not because it didn't go out of the yard, but it had Mark Menizzi gotten a hit there. You would have had a couple of base runners potentially on for Wes. And my guess is Wes would have tried to launch there. And that's why I say all the time, it's so difficult to pitch in the dome with these short fences and the AstroTurf and the ground rule double situation with the short fence. So Chris Rieger, Vito, and Michael Angi coming up here. And Rieger slashes it in front of Marco out in right field. Leadoff hit. First time the dummies have put their leadoff man on in the game, and it brings up Vito. And of course, Michael Angi certainly can go yard. Vito's got enough pop to do it right now. If you're the dummies, ideally, you'd like to see Vito get a hit and then maybe see Angi go. Again, the dummies already. I believe they have 1 home run. And Vito, little chopper to third, Menizzi. And you see there, Chris Rieger there didn't really slide. I think had he slid, it would have been a very close play at second base. He lost about 2 steps trying to break it down. So here's Alonji. And there's a little roller. Menizzi to hook for the short one. So leadoff single, back-to-back fielders' choices. And it brings up Lenny. Neither team really hitting the ball with authority. Probably the two hardest hit balls were tracked down by outfielders. And Lenny pounds a hit to center. Too hard for the runner to go anywhere but second. And brings up Ray. Now we're in that situation with a couple of base runners. You don't want a hitter doing something maybe that he's not used to doing or capable of doing in terms of trying to dip and drive, but now we're in that territory where if you put somebody in the box, you become doubly dangerous. And he was going for it, hits the roof, and Navarro makes the adjustment. Navarro was tracking that ball toward the gap, had to slam the brakes on. We told you he's quick. Slammed the brakes on. And I noticed that he is wearing a molded cleat, I believe. I think if he was wearing gym shoes, I don't know if he'd have been able to stop like that and come back in. So halfway through, 1-1 ball game. Looked like Ray was definitely trying to go yard there. Just didn't get it. Popped it up, hit the roof. But Navarro, second great play of the ball game as he robs him. So here's Wes Shannon leading off, Spencer Mahoney, and Anthony Scarlatta. So 1-1 ball game, kind of a surprise here. Good defense so far, both squads.
Go West, go West!
And Wes, a little ground ball, and Seekers can't make the play, and Wes, who can run easily into second. So Matt couldn't make the play, and by getting a hand on it, kind of deflected it away from Lenny, the right fielder. Wes Shannon saw where the ball went, never broke stride. And here's Spencer. We'll see how Signature wants to play it and whether they want Spencer to try to maybe muscle up here. No, he hits a ground ball. Lenny will make that play. West cruises into third. So I like the fact that Spencer, who's capable of going to any part of the field, was going to try to pull the ball. Looked like he topped it, but he hit it to the right part of the field to at least advance the runner. So maybe not what he wanted to do, but still productive while making that out. And here's Scarlatta, and that ball is caught by the left fielder. Sliding catch out there by Ryan Russ, one of the best. It does score the run, but he robs Scarlatta of extra bases. Ryan Russ is a human highlight reel. And that's going to bring up Chad Hook. And Chad slaps a hit up the middle, takes the turn, but he'll stop and go back. And it brings up Dave Navarro. So Signature's top has managed to push a run across here. There are two outs. Mike Manzella on deck. So this is a situation too where Manzella's got a lot of pop as well. You'd like to find a way to get Navarro out here because Manzella capable of going yard. and he goes hard and deep to center on the backtrack. Sherwin puts it away for out number 3. So Signature's top a little better that inning than the Dummies' top as they managed to push across the lead run here as we head to the top of the 5th. Pretty nice kick there by Stacy. Seen him play a little hacky sack in the past and came in handy there. He's got some interesting shoes. I don't think New Balance makes a shoe with black on it like that. I got a feeling that's tape. But you never know. So it's going to be Brian Sherwin, Ryan Russ, he of the highlight catch, and Matt Musha. And the Dummies now, as we get deeper into the game, now that they're trailing, a little bit more pressure on them because they do not have the hammer. But with the way Signature's capable of scoring runs, and Sherwin just a little too fat. Looked like he was just trying to pop it over the infield there, and the ball carried out. Looked like he hit down on that ball, had a little underspin, stayed up in the air. So here's Ryan Ross. Yeah, it seems like he's on every broadcast, especially in the fall. And Ryan trying to go big. Does it have the distance? It does. That ball was right along the top of the roof, never hit it, and just made it out by about a foot or 2 feet. He didn't hit it good, but he hit it enough, and we're all tied at 2. Marco kind of got back there. They have warned the players because that is temporary fencing. And a few years ago, we had somebody crash into one of them, and they kind of mangled the supports on it. So they tell these guys, don't crash into the wall or you can be ejected. So a lot of these outfielders, when they're drifting, and Musha, a little overhand cut, he gets his second hit. So Matt Musha working both lines. He walked the dog his first time up down the right field line, and that time he cut the left field line. And here's Frank Jekyll. One out here. Top of the lineup looming. No, I take that back. Nobody out. And we talk about how your bottom third has got to pitch in, and Musha a couple of hits, Ryan Russ a dinger. And Frank Jekyll a little too hard, and Marco with the long throw across, and y'all know my thoughts on that. I just risk reward. There's not going to be a lot of reward on that when a guy isn't that far off. So that's the first out of the inning, and it brings up the top now with Joey Gotw. And Joey's due. And there he hits it toward the alley. Long run, diving attempt, and the ball goes out. Ground rule double. Navarro laid out. He might have got a hand on it. The ball bounced up, hit the top of the fence, and just curled over. So Gotw would have had an easy triple. Certainly would have scored Matt Musha. And it brings up Chris Rieger, though, now second and third with one out. So Signature dodges a bullet temporarily. Again, with this turf and this short wall, we see a lot of ground rule doubles. And Chris walks the dog down the right field line. That'll score a pair. Rieger going to slide into second with a double. So the dummies showing a little signs of life. They've played at 3 here to take a 4-2 lead. And again, if you're Signature, you're not too worried about a 2-run deficit. They can score in bunches. But another dangerous hitter with Vito and then Alonji. And Vito slashes one. Long throw by Mahoney. He bounced it in. And that'll do it. But in the inning, 3 runs. So Mahoney way out on the grass. Got the big hop on it. And made a Davy Concepcion long bounce throw to first. For you youngsters, that was the big red machine, the Cincinnati Reds, when they were a dominant team in the 70s and early 80s. And they had turf. A lot of the ballparks back then had AstroTurf infields. And I'm trying to remember if Cincinnati's park was all turf. But he'd go deep in the hole and throw that long one-hopper on the turf. So it's going to bring up Manzella, Manizzi, and Stacy here now, bottom of the 5th. Biggest lead by either team at 2. And Manzella ground ball to Musha, and he makes the play. 1 up, 1 down. It brings up Matt Manizzi. So both teams are struggling. It's unusual. Mikey Manzella usually wears the long compression. I don't know what you call them, but his legs are usually completely covered. Not tonight. And Manizzi chops it on the ground. Alonji, big hop, easy flip for out number 2. And it brings up Stacy. So right now, Signature just kind of drifting offensively. They really haven't strung much together. And part of that is some solid defense. And both teams have been pretty good tonight. And Stacy tries to go big. Ryan Russ, plenty of space and room, makes the catch. We head to the top of the 6th, 4-2 dummies. And we are live from the Rosemont Dome for this Winter Dome League action. And we certainly hope that you're all going to have a healthy, safe Thanksgiving coming up in just a couple of days. I'm certainly going to enjoy the fact that I'm off the rest of the week. And hopefully the Turkey Bowl won't destroy me too badly in the cold weather. Well, Amalia, I think that's what his employer is thinking. So it's going to be Michelangelo, Lenny, and then Ray. So 3 good hitters coming up here. And Alonji smokes it down the line. Getting on it quick is Marco. Michelangelo rifled a 1-hopper down the left field line, leading off here. So the dummies are starting to swing it a little bit better. And they're starting to put a little more pressure on that Signature defense. Brings up Lenny. And Lenny goes hard the opposite way. Manizzi turned around, and it bounces over the fence. And talking with Frank Shaquille, he said that Lenny was maybe the best hitter on Players Inc. last year. And him and Frank are leaving. I believe I want to say they're going to Moneyline. I don't know if Matty Dozen is checking him, but he can confirm that. And you can tell he hasn't made too many outs here in the Dome. Here's Ray Sekas. So second and third, nobody out here. Dummy's looking to extend this lead out with Brian Sherwin on deck. And Sekas, a slow roller. Spencer looks the runner back. And that'll be out number one. And as a manager, you don't like to see that. You would prefer the hitter to try to go to right field there. So if he does top a ground ball, you get one in, one over. And here's Brian Sherwin. Brian has enough pop to leave the yard. We know Ryan Russ can do it. He did it his last at-bat. And this is the type of situation. And Sherwin goes the other way, and Manizzi makes a catch. Throw to the plate, going to be close. Safe, the ball gets away. Scores the fifth run. Throw was a little offline. Wes had to go up the third base line. Was trying to snatch and tag. And brings up Ryan Russ. 2 outs, runner on third. So Manizzi made a nice play, came in. He had to go down to one knee, came up throwing. Ryan slashes it. Mahoney, long throw. Stacy can't dig it. Another run scores. And that's what speed will do. People don't look at Ryan Russ as necessarily being fast. And I had this conversation with somebody. When you're a left fielder, unless you're crazy fast like Little B or Brian Koronkowski, because you're covering a short amount of time, Marco will get there, but they do score a couple of more runs. They push out to 6-2 as we head to the bottom of the sixth. You don't really see the left fielder flat out run like, say, you would a center fielder. But Ryan Russ was in the top 2 or 3 for triples this year in the Chicago Summer Series, which was brought to you by Gold Rush Gaming and Sweet Buzz. And when you see Ryan hit a ball like that and run, you realize just how fast he is. So Spencer looked like he was trying to catch and throw off his back foot and didn't quite get it there. And as a result of that, it was a tough scoop. So it's going to be the pitcher, Don Rollins, followed by Marco, and then the top. So Signature's vaunted top will get another crack at this. Meanwhile, looking ahead to the 7th, it'll be 8, 9, 10 for the dummies. So the dummies, or should say Signature, in a good spot here in the bottom of the 6th, because they know they'll get to their top again, regardless of what happens this inning. So critical here. And there's a fly ball the other way, and Sherwin overran it. Ended up catching it off his back hit as he was running into right center. And makes a great catch. We are seeing some slick outfield defense today. And it brings up Marco. And that's a good example. I think when you're a pitcher, and both these teams are very solid defensively everywhere on the field, and your job as a pitcher is to keep it in the yard and not walk anybody. And neither pitcher has a walk in this game. And there's a ground ball to Alonji. Long throw in time. 2 up, 2 down. Brings up Mark Manizzi. 0 for 2 in the ball game. And again, with Wes, Spencer, and Scarlata looming, you'd like to get out of here with no base runners and not have. And there he tries to go yard. It hits the roof and it's going to drop in. Would have been a tough catch for Lenny. And now we'll see if Wes Shannon just tries to get on base for Spencer or if he tries to unload here. Again, judging from the angle that Lenny was taken to get to the ball before it hit the roof, I don't think that ball was going to get out of here. And more than likely would have been the third out of the inning, but that's the dome. And Frank, all of a sudden, the last 2 hitters, plates jumped around a little bit. And there's a line drive, can't make the catch, throw to first. Great scoop, but not in time. So line drive at Vito. Tried to make the shoestring catch, couldn't. Did recover, but Wes, a left-handed hitter who can run, once you bobble that, you don't have a shot. And here's Spencer Mahoney. Dollars to donuts. He'll try to go, and there he does, and that ball is gone. An effortless swing, and he puts 3 quick on the board. So Signature gets the massive break with the fly ball that hit the roof. Shannon the infield hit, and Mahoney goes yard, and now all of a sudden it's 6-5. So here's Scarlata. And now he tries to go. It does not hit the roof. And Ryan Russ. So we head to a 7th. New ball game almost at 6-5. And it's going to be the bottom third, I believe, here of the lineup coming up. Although I see Frank Shaquille, I think, was supposed to be hitting third. But Frankie, I must have missed something. He is apparently going to be leading off, so it'll be 10-1-2. So that's how quick things change in this Dome League. And again, it's the same for both teams. But Mark Manizzi, the roof shot, kept that inning alive, and it turned into a 3. And there's a little ground ball back to the pitcher, and that'll be out number 1.
Hey, Joe, let's go. 2 out. You can do a lot of damage. Let's go.
So the advantage right now certainly swings over to Signature. They'll have Chad Hook, Dave Navarro, and Mike Manzella. If anybody gets on, Matt Manizzi. So they're going to have a couple of hitters who can go yard to tie the game up. So if you're the dummies, you need to push a few across here. It's been a pretty snappy ball game. Called that inside. It didn't look like there was a presentment, as Ziggy was asking the umpire. And Iggy, a little topper. Manizzi slipped, and the ball gets through Stacy.
Right there. Atta boy.
So that's a big break there. Routine ground ball over to Nizzi. He threw a belt tie strike. It looked like Stacy got handcuffed on it. And a little insurance now with Rieger and Vito coming up. I don't know if Chris will try to go yard, but it wouldn't surprise me if Vito didn't, if he gets a shot here. And that ball nicks the plate. So both teams have been pretty good defensively. We'll see if that little bobble, there's a ground ball to Mahoney. And another, tell you, Spencer is not throwing the ball real well tonight. And Stacy made another nice scoop of there. They're really making Stacy work a little bit. And here's Vito with Michelangelo on deck.
Hey, pick me up. Let's go.
And Spencer is playing everybody really deep, but Spencer got one of the best arms in infield arms in softball. And he has bounced a couple of throws in. And Vito, another little chopper. Minizzi, he bounces a throw, and the run will score. Throw to second. Hit Vito in the back. So they pick up a insurance run. Scarlatta ranged far to his left. Didn't quite get himself lined up, threw across his body. And it brings up Belangi 7-5 now. And Baytall, I think, is going to see they might walk Alonji to get to Lenny. Mike Alonji, one of the best offensive players in 16-inch softball. And these are short dimensions. So that might be what they're talking about. They might be discussing if anybody knows Lenny well enough to know if Lenny can go yard. So let's see if this is going to be the unintentional, intentional walk. And if maybe they're telling Donnie Rollins not to throw him anything good. But sometimes the ball gets away as that pitch way short. We'll probably be able to tell based on this. And that pitch way short. 3-1 count. If I was Mike right here, he's taking all the way. I don't like that. If I was Mike, I'd be up there thinking if he was going to try to slide a strike in on me, I would have been ready to pound. Because now, if you're the pitcher, you don't care if you walk him. And Alonji tries it deep to center. Gone. Mike Alonji hit it right to the left of the 235 marker. 2-run blast. And that's why I say if your thought process is don't give him anything to hit, I would just rather put the guy on because pitchers make mistakes. And that's a good example there where 3-1, Mike took his hand off the bat, telling you he wasn't going to swing. That's an easy second strike. But on 3-2, you got nothing to lose. You got an open base. And that pitch was just too good. So here comes Lenny. I think they might have one dinger left. And if he's capable of doing it, he might as well try to go for it here. They're like timeouts. They don't do you any good after the game is over. So 9-5 dummies. And Lenny just scalds one. Mahoney, high throw. Third error of the inning on signature. And after playing 6 good innings of defense, all of a sudden the wheels are coming off here a little bit. Dummies have taken advantage of it so far, and it brings up Ray Sekas. If I was Ray, I'd be trying to get on and maybe give Brian Sherwin a chance at hitting a 3-run jack. And Sekas off the roof, but Mahoney, you see where he went. He tracked it all the way. Do or die 7th coming up for signature. They need 4 for the game to continue. 5, they walk them off. Anything less, and the Dummies will get out of here with a victory. And it's going to be Chad Hook, Dave Navarro, and Mike Manzella coming up, 5, 6, 7. Of course, the first out always very important. So those were big runs now, as Signature basically needs a grand slam to tie it. So you want to keep that tie out of the box if you can. Dummies chasing outs here. Even should Signature get a base runner, you want to make sure that you're grabbing outs. Chad Hook, high fly ball going back. Russ looks up. It's in the net, 9-6. That'll bring up Dave Navarro. So they got 1 home run left. I don't like that when you're down as much as they are. They're saying they got 1 home run left. I don't know if that's right or not, but here's Navarro. His job is to get on for Manzella and maybe get to Matt Menizzi with a couple of base runners. And there he hits it right to Vito, and that ball gets through Chris Rieger. They would have had him. Vito threw a knee-high strike. Chris kind of let that ball get a little deep on him as he was stretching, and he kind of missed it instead of trying to catch that out front. Now Manzella very well may try to go. We'll see. No, he hits the little roller and it gets through. Nothing's over. Throw to second, not in time. Second and third tie in the box for Menizzi. Stacy can certainly go here. Well, James, you need a hard aluminum bat. No double wall, and the heavier the bat that you can swing up to 38 ounces with a little speed and control is the best way to go. So here's Menizzi. He represents the tie. He's going for it. Russ at the wall. It's in the net, and we're tied. So the error comes into play there as it put a runner on base, and we're all tied at 9. I'm not sure if they have any home runs left. I think the Dummies may have 1 left. So this game was low scoring. All of a sudden, we're 9-9, bottom of the 7th. And Stacy trying to go. That's going to stay in. Does not hit the roof. And there's an out. Brings up the pitcher. So Frank Jekyll trying to get his outfield squared away. Marco on deck, and then they'll be back to the top of their lineup. So if you're the dummies, you need to put a Band-Aid on this thing. Grabs a strike there, 2-2 count. Full count. And there he sits back and he punches it into the outfield for a base hit. And it brings up Marco.
That's Scar's thing.
So we got a courtesy runner.
You're good. Good. Good.
Stretch single could end the ball game here. Frank grabs a strike.
Good. Good. Good.
So we are in the bottom of the seventh here. And Marco, little fly ball. Ryan Russ is there. And Ryan, very strong, accurate arm, no tag. 2 outs. It brings up Mark Manizzi. His brother Matt will be running on the swing. Or excuse me, that's Scarlata. Courtesy running. Anything hit up an alley here is going to win the ball game. Rieger trying to jockey to keep him a little closer. And there's another ball hit off the roof, and Musha comes back and makes the play. Free softball in Rosemont as we head to the top of the 8th. 9-9. Great play by Musha. Mark Pizzi was trying to get his second roof shot, but Musha recovered. So I'll be right back, folks. I'm going to grab a quick swig of water. And leading off, it's going to be Brian Sherwin, Ryan Russ, and Matt Musha. Been a fun ball game so far. And there's a hammer down the line. That's going to be a double. It's Brian Sherwin. How many times have we seen this kid late or in big spots in ball games hit that bullet down the left field line? So lead run at second for Ryan Russ. I think both teams have got one home run left. Ryan's already got one. Matt Musha on deck. And Ryan hammers it a knuckleball, but right at Marco. That ball was scalded, folks, but he got his top hand stayed on top. And when he hit it, that ball had sink on it. When it left the bat, it was elevated, and then it just dropped. Ryan Russ is not a pure home run hitter. Here's Musa, walked the dog once and then carved that left field line, and now he goes toward the gap, and that's going to drop. Sherwin is going to score, and on the throw to the plate, Musha sneaks into second. Again, Brian Sherwin, good base runner, got a great read on that. Problem was there was no cutoff man. Rollins went to back up the plate. Your first baseman's got to slide over and be the cutoff man. so that the catcher can yell cut. You can keep Musha from going to second. It brings up Frank Jekyll. And he scalds one to Mahoney. Good base running by Musha to get back. So brings up Joey Gotw. 10-9. And if you're the dummies, that one run isn't that comfortable. As his signature team got a lot of bats. 10-9 here, top of the 8th. And Joey didn't get all of it. That'll be an easy play for Navarro. So the dummies scratch a run. Tell you, the bottom part of the dummy lineup is doing most of the damage tonight. Their top has struggled a little bit. And that's really why it's 10-9 instead of maybe 13-14-9. So you got West Shannon, Spencer, and Scar. Right now, I think if you're West, you're thinking base hit. I believe Signature's got one home run left. And that's why I say the advantage, even though they're losing, really belongs to Signature. As their first 3 guys here, 4 guys if you add in Hook, are all capable of going yard with that one home run left. So if you're West right now, I think because you're down a run, and with the guys you got coming up, West should be thinking about base hit here. He shouldn't be thinking about home run, because you want to use that home run to maybe walk these guys off. He went for it, and oh! And that's going to be a home run.
Got one left still, boy.
So that's a home run. It was almost a spectacular catch by Lenny. He actually had 2 hands on that ball. Then he hit the wall. The wall separated. He fell over the wall, and the ball popped out of his hands. So they're doing a little maintenance on the fence over there. It would have been a spectacular catch. As it is, we're tied at 10. Alan, you guys done with home runs now? Huh? Call that a 4-base error? Oh my, that's not right. I'm not sure. That ball was clearly over the fence. Just because you jump up.
How many timeouts these guys get? What the fuck? How many meetings?
I'm not sure about that call, folks. You're running into a fence and you jump up, and they called it a 4-base error. Spencer Mahoney now can hit a home run here and end the game, and I got to say I kind of disagree with that. I don't know how you call that an error on an outfielder as he's lunging over the top of a fence. Ground ball to Jekyll, and they get the first out of the inning. But you still got Scarlata more than capable. I think the Signature guys are chuckling that they still got a dinger left.
Yes. Win by 2.
And the dummies, needless to say, not too happy with that. A 4-base error. I don't know if I've ever necessarily heard of that. And now he just punches a base hit, so the winning run is on. With one out, brings up Chad Hook.
Let's go. Want me to take those scarves? How many, Chad? 1 second.
I mean, it'd be one thing if the guy was camped under it, put his hands up and it hit his hands and bounced over. I could see where you would say that wasn't a home run because it was in the field of play and got deflected up and over. But the way Lenny was chasing it, his entire upper body was over the fence. And Hook, Vito knocks it down. He flips for the fielder's choice for out number 2.
Let's go, Dave. Single here, Dave. Come on, Dave. Single here, Dave. Let's go.
Well, that ball was out by about 2.5 feet. That just doesn't seem right. I get what you're saying, Sal, but so brings up Navarro now with a couple outs here. Hook will score on a stretch single. He'll be flying.
6 feet behind you. Good. Good.
So little confusion here.
Good.
Grabs a strike. Full count. You might have heard Michael Angie in the background telling everybody full count, throw across, because this guy will be running on the release. And there's a little short fly ball, Ryan Russ. So we head to the top of the 9th. 10-10. I'm glad I'm off tomorrow. We are live in Rosemont. Game started off a little slow, but last few innings here, it's been a different ball game. And it's going to be Chris Rieger, Vito, and Alonji. And I see Nathan is checking out the ball game. You're going to be out at the Turkey Bowl, Nathan?
They've never changed.
Again, no time limit out here. So if you had the 10 o'clock game, I'm sure they're going to give them a couple of minutes to hit. That game may not start till 10:45 or 11. I think Joey is... So they may have overtime rules here because they put a guy on first. Last out. So it is 1-1. I thought maybe they were going to put him on second and go 3-2, but 1-1 count, they put the leadoff guy on. So it's just like your top here if you're the dummies coming up. And Rieger slaps it up the middle. Nice play by Menizzi, but that's all they'll get. Well, that makes sense, Sal, if the ball is in play, but he got to the fence and had his entire body reaching over the fence. And he was trying not to hit the fence, but by the time that ball came down, he was bent over at the waist over the fence. So the fielder's choice brings up Vito. And I'm not sure if the dummies have a home run or not left. And they do have Alonji on deck. And Vito, little ground ball. This might be two. Over the hook, not in time. So fielder's choice number 2, and it brings up Alonji. And I'm pretty sure if they have a homer left, Mike is going to try to use it. Homered last time up when I thought they should have walked them. And it looks like Rollins is trying to get him to bite on short stuff. And there's a wicked shot toward the alley. Vito running. He takes the turn, throw to the plate. Not in time. The ball came in on a bounce. Wes originally didn't catch it. Then he secured it and slapped the tag. Looked like he might have tagged the base runner up around the stomach area. Umpire felt he got his legs in underneath. So it brings up Lenny. Dummies resilient here. Have reclaimed the lead in the 9th. Base hit here could give him a 2-run cushion. And every run you can get, since Signature still has a dinger left, and he comes through. Lenny has just absolutely crushed the ball. He's going to stop at second. Dummies 12-10. Brings up Seekes. With Brian Sherwin on deck here. And Seekes rifles where Menizzi can't make the play. Runners on the corner, and here comes Sherwin. Again, I don't know if the dummies have a dong left. Brian certainly has the pop. Last time up, he rifled it double into the left field corner. And now he just walks the dog. No, Menizzi robs him. And I'm not sure if he hurt a leg or if he caught that in a tender area. And that's a big play. If he doesn't make that catch, 3rd run scores. And yeah, I think that hit in the one place a man doesn't like to get hit.
Hey, when he's down.
And I heard the boys' choir over at the church is looking for a soprano. And Menizzi may be able to jump right in. So, great play, but he paid the price. Hopefully he's still able to have kids. So Navarro will be the runner at first. And then they do have a homer left, and Manzella could tie this right up at 12 with a big fly. So this game is turned out to be a lot of fun here late on a Tuesday. And Manzella just strokes a base hit. Forget about Navarro. He'll get the 3rd. Runners on the corner. And Matt Menizzi still walking it off a little bit. We'll see what kind of a swing we get out of him. Right now, if you're the dummies, you'd love to see a pitcher's best friend, a double play ball, show up. A Signature in a good spot here to maybe come back and tie this. Of course, should Menizzi launch here, it'd be a walk-off. And if you're Shaquille, you don't want to walk anybody. And he did. No, he called it a strike. And Anthony Stacy was in a position that a long stretch single might have won the ball game here. If you're the dummies, you need to grab an out here. And that ball is going to not hit the roof, and it is going to be foul. Not by much. Maybe a foot. Mike Alonji and I think Ryan Russ were both screaming no. They didn't want Iggy to get out there and maybe touch it. So that's an out there. Now a double play wins the ball game for the dummies. We have seen Anthony Stacy go yard. He's certainly capable. High drama here in Rosemont. And he goes for it, and it's way up in the net, a walk-off three-run homer. Frank Jekyll flattened out, and that calling that home run a four-base error turns out to be a huge call, as it gave Signature another home run, and they walk off the dummies 13 to 12. So that'll do it for the ball game. We certainly hope you enjoyed it. Back and forth affair. Two teams that have been playing the best softball in the Dome so far put on a show. So on behalf of the SSA, thank you for tuning in. We will be talking to you on Thanksgiving Day. Have a safe passage and travel if you're heading anywhere. Be safe. We love you. Thanks for tuning in.